Once you have chosen your page and managed to save it as a JPEG, it is time to edit it using GIMP. So of course, launch GIMP and open the file. Go to File, Open, or Control O as it says there. Navigate around, find your exact file. Whatever you named it, whatever you called it, wherever you saved it, you need to open that one. Let's say it was this one. So I'm going to go ahead and click Open. And the page appears just how I remember saving it. That's a problem. It has a white background. We need to get rid of that white background. To do that, click on Colors, go down to Color to Alpha, menu pops up, and this is promising to take the color white and replace it with transparency. Just click OK. All of a sudden, it looks really strange in the work area. You see the black lines that you remember the image having, but now the image is filled with a light gray, dark gray checker pattern. Don't freak out. This is exactly what you want at this point. In addition to this, we need two other layers. So to get a new layer, click on Layer, New Layer, or as it says here, Shift-Control-N. Let's go ahead and create a color underlay layer. So name it that, and this should be filled with transparency. Let's click OK. We need one more layer. So again, new layer. And let's call this one blank background. And let's fill that one with white. This will be like slipping a white sheet underneath everything just to be able to see it well. Unfortunately, it just went over the top of everything. So I'm going to have to click and drag to rearrange these. I'll do that now. So the order you're going to want features the drawing on the top, the color underlay layer immediately under that, and the blank background at the very bottom. Once you have this set up, you can begin to color. So the first thing you got to know about coloring is that it requires us to go back and forth between the drawing layer and the color underlay layer. So start in the drawing layer, make sure that's selected. And then we need to choose something in the area to color. And you can do that using one of three select tools: the rectangular select tool, the free select tool, or the fuzzy select tool. I'll show you the rectangular select tool first. It's of course great for boxes like this one, this narrative box. I just selected it. You see that flashing dashed outline around it. That's going to mean that that's the only area in which I can do anything at the moment. This is how you stay between the lines. Now I'm going to switch over to the color underlay layer. And now I want to choose a color to fill this area with. So I click over here and the color menu pops up. I'm going to fill that narrative box with a lighter yellow color, and I think that works well. So I'll just click OK. And now you always do your coloring with the bucket fill tool. The only thing you color with when you're flatting is the bucket fill tool. So click on that and then click in the area, and you see that the entire area is now filled with that yellow color that I selected. All right, now back to the drawing layer. I'll show you a different select tool, but first I'm going to zoom in a bit to get a better view of what I want to look at. And so I want to work with this dome on top of this tower. And to do that, I'll use the fuzzy select tool, and I'll click one little piece there. And I'll hold down Shift, and now click another piece. And another piece. Ooh, that messed up. The fuzzy select tool gets like that sometimes. I'm going to hit Control Z to undo that and try to click it in a better spot it's going to like. And continue to go around. There you have it. I have now selected the entire dome on top of that tower. Now I can choose the color underlay layer and the color. I can choose the color now that I want to fill that with. Let's say I want to do some kind of greenish color. I think that'll do. I'll just work with that. And again, it's always the bucket fill tool. So now I click inside of one of these areas and all of them are suddenly colored. Back to the drawing layer. Let me zoom out here. So go to View, and I'll change the zoom to something lower, going to 100%. And now let's say I want to color the area in this panel above and around this narrative box. A great tool for something like that is the Free Select tool. And what you need to know about the Free Select tool is that you need to connect the dots. So you keep clicking and setting down dots, and then after each dot you can make a turn, go in another direction. And so it's going to connect everything up with straight lines. Now here's the thing about that. This is actually great still for selecting curves. Now what you need to remember about curves is that you can approximate them with a bunch of little pieces of straight line. Always make sure to return to where you started. You have to close the form for the free form to select. And you see that flashing outline. That means everything is good now. I can choose the color underlay layer and fill this area in with some other color that I'm going to choose. I think that would be great as something of a sky blue. So I'm going with this color. Bucket fill. There you have it. It gets a little repetitive. You select and you bucket fill and you select and you bucket fill and you keep switching between the drawing layer and the color underlay layer. Make it happen, make it work, transform these pages into lovely art. Go for it.